morning, Bootstrappers. This is your lucky host, Ryan Nickel, coming at you with Bootstrap REI. And I am crowded this morning. I got cars on both sides of me, and I got a guy walking his dog. All right, I'm on the road now. All right, so if you don't have a plan, you are planning to fail. We've all heard something close to that idiom before. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, all that stuff. Well, it's so true. This is so darn true. When I first got in this business, I got in this business just after, let me take that back. When I got into this business the second time, because the first time I got in it, man, right before the refi boom hit. It was June of 2000, or September of 2003. It was right after the refi boom. So anyway, I rode that wave in my mortgage industry, in the mortgage business. And then I got back into this in 2014. So the bottom of the market after the crash or the Great Recession or whatever you want to call it, the Great Depression, was 2012. And so I got into it in August of 2014, and I was riding that wave back up. But we were still in what we would consider a buyer's market. So back then, there were a lot of houses on the market, but not a whole lot of buyers. And so I was actually just, believe it or not, getting deals off of Craigslist. You can just go on Craigslist and you can just call, and that's all I did. So for hours, every single day when I first got started, because I had nothing better to do than to just call people. And so I called. I just dialed, and just went and saw houses, got several houses under contract, closed some, did not close many of the ones that I had under contract. One, because I didn't know what I was doing, and two, because I didn't know what I was doing, I set it up wrong, but it just was we'll just call it one. I did not know what I was doing. There was no two. Let's just be real. And so, looking at everything else, I'm looking at, okay, you know what? I've had some success here this last year. And I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, you know what? I took July off and I decided to spend some time with my family, go on vacation, do some things. And coming back into it, August was kind of slow. September, we're in the middle of it, and it's still kind of slow for me. And I'm like, man, you know what? One of my mentors says, if you're going to get out of the fast lane, go to the slow lane. Don't just jump off the freeway and then have to ramp back up, because it kills momentum and it's difficult. And I didn't fully understand what he was saying. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to cold turkey quit and then come back into it. I can come back into it anytime I want. Man, was that a mistake? It's so true. So in the future, when I want to just ramp down or turn down the faucet on my marketing and everything else that I'm doing, I'm just going to take it to a drip and not just cut it off, because trying to build this thing back up is frustrating and difficult. Not because it's hard, but because mentally it's challenging. I'm used to a certain level of success, and when I have to go and build from scratch again, it's hard to get motivated to do what you need to do. That's just what it is. And so because I got off the freeway, I'm now trying to get back on the freeway. I'm going slow instead of just taking it over to the slow lane and just cruising at my own little pace and then ramping it back up again when I needed to. So that's where I'm at. So I'm looking back at my success. I'm going, okay, what changed from January of earlier this year to February, when I went from 0 deals to I think it was 4 or 5 that month. And what it was I had a plan. Mondays, I'd drive for dollars. Tuesdays, I'd hit the courthouses. Wednesdays, I was calling on FSBOs. Thursdays and Fridays, I was visiting houses and following up and doing things like that. But every single week, I was doing that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Repeat. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Repeat. And so that month, I was able to slam down, like I said, 4 or 5 deals. I have to look exactly. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was definitely 4, but maybe possibly was 5. If there was not a 5th one, then that was sandbagged over or carried over until April. But I was doing consistently 2 or 3 deals a month. July hit, and I'm like, going on vacation. And so I'm sitting here and I'm trying to ramp things back up, and I'm sporadic about it. I'm just going all over the place. And I'm like, I'll do this today, I'll do that tomorrow. Now, I'm talking to sellers, I'm getting houses, I'm going out there. I'm not getting anything really under contract that's going to be a deal per se. I have a couple of contracts out there, but they're longer escrows or longer close times, because we're going through probate or certain things like that. And so, hey, good morning, Mildred. And it's like, man, okay, so I'm looking at this. So what am I going to do about it? I realized that I had a plan of action. I had a daily discipline or a weekly discipline that I did. So bam, what am I doing? Mondays, I'm driving for dollars. Now, I'm not going to just randomly drive for dollars like I used to. I'm specifically driving for dollars. So I'm going to do a little bit of research. I'm going to find out which properties are going to foreclosure, and I'm going to drive the ones that have the soonest auction date. Whatever auction date is the soonest, I'm hitting those up. And I'm looking for vacants. Then I'm going to go for the ones that are just there, and I'm going to drive, in that area that are pre-foreclosures that are vacant, and I'm going to hit those up. So that's my Monday. So Monday is I'm searching for property. Tuesdays through Thursdays, I am going to relentlessly go after these pre-foreclosures and find out where the owners are at, where they're living, what's going on. And that's where I've dropped the ball. I have tons of properties. I have a spreadsheet. Oh man, it's so long of all the properties that I've driven that I have not followed up with. I followed up with maybe a handful, like 7 or 8 different, try to find them. And that's the hardest part, is trying to find them and staying motivated and on top of it and going and going and going. But there are properties out there that are vacant that I haven't even moved forward on, and that's my fault because I'm distracting myself with other projects that I'm working on instead of actually focusing on the dual aspect of my business, long-term and short-term goals. My long-term goals I'm working on every single day, but my short-term goals, which is bringing more money into the household, into the coffers monthly, if not weekly, I've dropped the ball on that one. And so Tuesday, here we are, Tuesday through Thursday, today through Thursday, I'm going to hit up all of the houses that I know are vacant, and I'm going to start going after and calling on these property owners more aggressively than I have. Friday is my follow-up day, catch up, make sure that all my spreadsheets and things like that, they're just not well organized. And that's, that I'll be the first to admit. My wife will be also the one to concur that I'm not the most organized individual when it comes to things. I get stuff done, but I'm not the most organized. And that's okay. So anyway, I realized that why it was so difficult for me to get back on the ramp, onto the freeway here for this, to use that Find It Mondays. I love that. It's great. I'm going to actually just write that down as far as, in my notes. Why it's been so difficult to accelerate and get back up and going was part of it because I didn't have this plan. I didn't have strict guidelines of, okay, what is it that I need to be doing today? Again, my big arching goals, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm working on, my projects as far as my foreclosure defense seminar, my book, and then also my bootstrap training as far as, for brand new bootstrappers. That I'm working on. It's the day-to-day stuff that is kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. So that's what I'm hitting up today and for the rest of the week. And I will continue to give you updates as I go about doing this. I have no doubt in my mind that in the next 2, possibly 3 days, it might take as long as Thursday to find somebody, I will find somebody. I will find somebody, and all my calls I record, and I'm going to include this into the training, but I have no doubt in my mind that I will find someone who is waiting for me. They don't know that they're waiting for me, but they're desperately waiting for someone like me or you to find them and help them out of the situation because they just stuck their head in the hole and they just don't know what they're doing and they're just waiting for someone to come and save them. Unfortunately, that's what the mentality is they're looking for someone to save them. Now, I can't save anybody. That's not what my goal is. My goal is to help and to assist, but they're looking for a savior. And for this brief window and opportunity, they believe that I am that savior for them. Now, that's not how I present myself. That's just how they perceive it to be. And I go with it because it's helping them and it's also helping me. It's helping them financially and it's helping me financially. So anyway, just jump into it. Go knock on some doors. Find those people and bless their lives. In the meantime, bless yourself and be very prosperous. Remember, you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. I cannot overemphasize that enough. My very first deal changed my entire life. I got a $20,000 paycheck. Changed everything in a 3-week process. And after that, I'm like, well, if it was that easy, which usually it is, they call it beginner's luck because it typically is. The universe, the Lord, whatever you want to call it, blesses you for your efforts just to let you know, like, here you go, here's your gift. Now keep on going. It's going to get a little bit more difficult, but at least you've tasted the success and let that push you through those difficult times. And I had that. I went from my first check of $20,000 in 3 weeks to nothing for 6 months. But I knew what it tasted like, and I knew it was there, and I knew it was possible. So I kept pushing for it and pushing for it and pushing for it, and now I have those paydays. Not quite as large. I do have some large ones like that, which are very good, but not all of them are that large, but that's okay because I know it's possible. I know that's out there. And that was in a very down, well, actually kind of upswing market. It wasn't where we're at right now. Right now, it's just as easy to get those kind of deals. In fact, just in, what was it? Was it April? I believe it was either April. It was either end of April, beginning of May. Got another $20,000. It was all cash. This was a $20,000 cash deal. So no check, just some dude counting his bills in my house. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel. Get out there, be successful, and I'll see y'all later.